So that's, I've just got, it'll probably be mentioned more so. You'll get emails about it. Again, you can advertise in the book, our booklet, and you can talk to Erica or you can talk to Janet on that. Trolley sponsorship seems to be all taken care of right now, so we don't have to worry about that. Other things, if you want to sponsor some special event, that is still open, so contact Ann or Janet or read there. I get the ad, so if you got an ad, just send it to me, and we can go from there. So it should be a good one. Hopefully, the weather will be delightful, and it's usually a fun event. Really sure. In December, we're going to have elections. Terry's going to step down. John is going to step up to the president.
He's running for president.
Running for president. If you would like to nominate yourself for a fellow DBA member, feel free. There are going to be forms up on the website, and I have a few here. If you want to participate in the executive committee, feel free to do that. I mean, sometimes it's hard for us to come up with things to please you all. So your participation is really important. Get involved. It's a great group. You meet some great people. And we need new ideas all the time. So.
Yeah, there's 5 positions. It's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and a director. And you don't need to be nominated by anyone. No one needs to approach you. You can just contact John or Don.
Really just Don.
Contact me.
And we'll put your name in the ballot. It's actually, the election is in January.
Contact me, that's it. I'm not running.
You must have moved your hand just a little
Yes. I've been there and done that.
So again, if you're interested, you know, it really is fun working for you people, and you know, get involved. You know, I guess I get involved, so you get involved.
And it's very good working executive. It helps your own executive abilities. Like my ability to not put my foot in my mouth is only decreased by half.
He taped his feet before.
But anyways, it's been a good time. And speaking of elections, we have Karen Barry here, who is running for representative, state representative. And well, you can explain the areas you represent.
Sure. Thanks for having me, and sisters, thanks for opening this up. This is beautiful. How inspirational. So it's great to know. My name's Karen Barry, and I live here in Duxbury. I've been here for the last 11 years. I was born and raised in Hanson. I spent 2 years in Pembroke. This legislative district is Hanson, Pembroke, and Duxbury, so it's very familiar to me. And I'm the Republican candidate for state representative. And Daniel Webster held this position for the last 10 years. And you might say, where did I come from? Well, I challenged the Republican incumbent in the primary. And the result was that I didn't win. So you say, well, why are you here now? He did not accept the nomination, and the party then tapped him on the shoulder, and they nominated me, so here I am. And my opponent is Josh Cutler, our friend. In town, I am on the Fiscal Advisory Board. I'm also on the 375th with a lot of you, which has just been so great. I've loved it. But how I ended up here today, I think, is my dad was a state rep for this district. My maiden name is Mann. His name's Charlie Mann. So he served this district from the mid-60s to about 1991. He just kind of grew up in an environment where public service was almost kind of expected. Politician wasn't a bad word, apathy was. And I served on committees in the town of Hanson, I serve on committees here, so municipal government I'm comfortable with, and I see a real need to bring local aid back to the town. My business background is in trucking, transportation, and cranberry, so I come from the industrial side of things. My husband and I started a business 20 years ago, so I also have a keen understanding to what it means to actually own your own business. So not so much because it's my business, but because I understand the realities when you know, your receivables are at 120 days and that next order hasn't quite come in, and I think that's a really important understanding, especially in the legislature. we are seeing some kind of crazy legislation that's passed, and I'm telling you right now, I've worked on a budget in the legislature for the last year, so I'm very current with what's going on up there, and we are looking at a tax increase next year, and I've been endorsed by the Citizens for Limited Taxation as well as National Federation for Independent Business, because my stance is that we can't afford to grow our economy and to grow jobs through a tax and spend philosophy. And the long and the short of it is that, and again, my boss said to me today, Karen, no one will ever beg for more time, so just keep it, keep this really short. So I'm going to just leave you with this one thought, and I'd love to talk to you individually about things that are more specific, but this is our reality, and this is the one that I've been living with and we've all lived with. Our legislature has 160 seats. And there's only 33 seats in the Republican Party, there's 127 in the Democrat. Take the R and the D out of the conversation and think of the reality of a concentration of power. And because we have a concentration of power, we've seen, unfortunately, the last 3 speakers indicted. We've seen problems in the Senate. We don't see committees meeting. We don't see roll call votes where we know where our legislators are voting. And we see an urban versus suburban kind of philosophy going on. So I believe that, again, a vote in this election is about a vote to continue to move the balance in the right direction. And we increased from 16 to 33 reps 2 years ago. And when we did that, we didn't see tax increases. For the first time in many years, we started to see money come back to the district. I have friends that on the Democratic side that say, we really want more balance. Not in my district, thank you, but we would love to see more Republicans get elected because we want this conversation too. So I think this is really a race about good government. It's difficult, and I said that to Josh. The most difficult thing for me is that I really like him, and I really know that he has his heart, and this is the 3rd time that he's run for this, and he really wants it. However, we're friends, we shook hands, we just understand we're on two opposite sides of philosophical beliefs. And I'll leave you with this, just that this really has to be a decision, I think, moving forward about where are we going in this economy, how are we growing our jobs. The greatest growth sector is in our small businesses, 1 to 10 employees. We need policy that's going to allow for no taxation, stable corporate tax rate, and the things I think that are important to pretty much all of us. So I'll leave you with that. Karen, I didn't bring anything in, but it's electkarenbarry.com. I'm here in town on West Street. Many people in the committee know who I am. I would be very happy to talk to you specifically if you have questions. And I just really appreciate being here and having you listen to me, and I hope that I can earn your vote. Thanks.
Our next speaker is Janet LeBarge. Did I say that correctly? Did I say your name correctly? And she's with the company Dirty Deeds, which I believe is, well, you'll explain what the company is. And the reason why I asked her to speak tonight is I saw her speak at the Alden Speak for Thyself Awards, and it was very uplifting. I mean, she has a really great business model that puts together social responsibility and business. And I thought coming here tonight, this would be the perfect place to talk about social responsibility and business. So Janet, please. Time.
Well, this is perfect because I'm coming, I've got politics on one side and religion on the other. I really can't lose. I mean, I'm going to talk about something completely different. Actually, I always like to start with a joke, and I decided which one would be safer, religion or politics.
Pass.
No, not at all. The Pope is speaking at a conference in New York City. And one of his pages comes over and says, Your Eminence, you have to get back to the Vatican immediately, there's an emergency. So he gets outside, the Pope-mobile is all blocked in, he can't get out, so he hails a taxi. Here's the Pope hailing a taxi in New York City. One of the cabbies pulls over, he gets in the back, and says, I've got to get to JFK Airport immediately, I've got to get back to the Vatican. The cabbie starts driving, he says, really, cabbie, you've got to go faster, I have to get back to the Vatican. He said, please, Your Eminence, I'm driving as quickly as I can. I've already got a few tickets. I have a family. I can't go any faster. You have to go faster. I have to get back to JFK. It's very important. I'm trying. Finally he says, pull over. The cabbie pulls over. The Pope says, you get in the back. He gets the front, he starts driving. He's racing down the Henry Hudson. He's going $1.25 down the Henry Hudson, trying to get to JFK as fast as he can. Ooh, he gets pulled over by a cop. Oh my goodness, he pulls over. The cop comes out. License and registration, sir. Takes the license and registration, goes back to his car, calls his boss and says, Sarge, I gotta tell you, I don't know what to do. I just pulled over this cab going $1.25 on the Henry Hudson. But it's a really important person. I don't think we should arrest him. He said, oh, $1.25 on the Henry Hudson? Pull him in. That's ridiculous. He says, no, you understand. He's a really, really important person. I said, what, is it mayor? The mayor? He said, no, bigger than the mayor. Is it one of our senators? There's a senator? I said, no, bigger than that. Really big. He said, is it Obama? Is it President Obama? I didn't think he was in town. He said, no, bigger than that. Well, who is it? He said, I don't know, but the Pope is his driver. Safe joke, but the sisters will tell that one again, I'm sure. Well, thank you to the Duxbury Business Association for inviting me here. Thank you to the sisters. If your goal is to have lots of company here, with a place like this, a view like that, and the kind of spread you're putting out, I'm going to spread the word. My friends will be over this Friday night. I hope free beer, we're all set. My name is Janet LeBarge. My company is Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. It's an old AC/DC tune. It's great to have a business that has a theme song. Every time that song plays on the radio, people say, I thought of you. I said, I didn't pay for that ad. Good. I like to say we're cleanouts with a conscience. I don't want to call my business junk removal. That's who all my competitors are. When I have got junk dogs, junk it, junk king. I think that's disrespectful. It may be junk. There is sometimes when it's just trash. But whether it is or not, it's your stuff. And so I call it cleanouts. I try to take the stuff out and do it with as much social responsibility and kindness and compassion as possible. Before I started this business 8 years ago, I was a social worker for 20 years. So I bring that to the table. What I found is, although my teenage boys tell me how foolish I was to leave my master's degree behind and jump on a junk truck, because people think I'm a junk lady. I didn't lose the master's degree. I mean, I still have it. I still know how to use it. Darn if that social work degree doesn't come in handy. Because what I found, I work with probably 80% seniors. Not that seniors, no offense folks, not that seniors have more junk than anybody else, but I work with seniors because I like that generation. I tend to find a lot of people that are downsizing from a big 4 or 5 bedroom house and they're going to Linden Ponds or Allerton House or someplace and they can't bring all that stuff with them. And they're just overwhelmed. So I always tell them first thing, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. We're going to take one bite at a time. We're going to start with this room that has things that you know you want to get rid of, and then we have a staging. Here's stuff you want to give away. Here's stuff that's trash. Here's stuff that's recycling. Here's the pile you want the family to go through. And we take it one bit at a time. And what I found is that social work decree has come in handy because when I'm taking this stuff in, what we do that's a little bit different in a business model for most companies is most junk removal companies will sell the majority of what they get and I could easily make probably 30% more a year in profit just from there's a big secondary market, Craigslist, consignment shops, you can sell stuff. To me, I feel that's dishonest. If I'm taking something from you and I'm charging a fair rate for our labor of pumping this stuff out, and I look at something and say, oh, I can get $150 from the table here, I should be somehow sharing that with you. So I've never felt that was fair. So what I've always done is say, we're taking things out. If you have something I think you can consign, I will deliver it as part of what we're doing to a local consignment shop. That helps that local business. They give you 50% back, so it helps you out. The majority of what you're going to have, because mostly family will take the really nice stuff, is what I would consider yard sale quality goods. And I will tell people, if you want to have a yard sale, God love you, because I can't do those. They are tedious at best. And you have people arguing over stuff. I see you've got that marked for $2. We take 50 cents. Come on, don't insult me. So what I do though is I give everything I get away to people that need it. And we used to try to give to just friends of the homeless, women's shelters, those kind of things. And we just have so much stuff coming in on such a regular basis that we needed to broaden our horizons. So I give a lot of stuff away on my Facebook page, take pictures of stuff at the estimate, post it up. It's coming in on Tuesday, it's coming to my garage, come and pick it up. Couches, dining room sets, massage tables, we gave away a loom, we give away blowers, garden supplies, rakes, hose, you name it. My goal is to keep that stuff out of the landfill, because when it, and I believe the rest of my competitors who say how much they recycle, I believe they believe that. I don't know what happens though, because we don't drive a dump truck. And in my experience, a dump truck dumps. And you get to a place and you dump it. So somebody else is having to sort. We drive big box trucks, we separate the stuff. Here's recyclables, here's giveaway, here's trash. And they each go to their given location. So my mantra and my company motto is to pay it forward. Pay it forward is based on a movie with Kevin Spacey several years ago. And when I give something to somebody, I say simply to them, I got paid to do a fair day's job, a fair day's wage. I'm going to give this to you because I can, because I've decided to, and you've asked for it. You pay it forward. You do something kind for somebody else. Sometimes they don't know what that means. I don't know what I can do. We can all do something kind. Pay for the coffee for the guy behind you. You're a massage therapist. How about you do Reiki on somebody that's going through cancer treatments that can't afford it? Whatever your special gift is, you share that with somebody else. And it's really been a great thing to do. I found that people hire me because we're the only company that I know of that's doing that. I used to be told early on, I would have people that come up and say, "You're stupid for not selling that stuff. You can make a lot of money." I say, "Well, see, I got a roof over my head, I've got good health, I've got people that love me. I'm a pretty blessed person. I'm pretty fortunate." And I love what you said, Sister Adele, with when you have something nicer than everybody else, I feel too, it's an obligation to share it with others. Just like you're sharing this home with other people. It's an obligation. If you have a gift, something that's nicer, share it with those around you. Because if you just go like this and you just hold it tight, what a waste. And I feel the same way about a business transaction with somebody. If I sell something to you, and you give me money, that interaction ends right there. If I pay something forward to you and I say, I'm giving you the obligation, the expectation, Pam, that you will pay it forward to somebody else. You may or may not do that. But if you do, you give that energy, that good energy goes forward to somebody else. You say, "You know what, this crazy person gave me something for free, and she said pay it forward. Here's my pay it forward to you." So if you do something nice for somebody else, it all just keeps going. And that's my real belief, that there's a lot of energy in this world. And whether it's Republican or Democratic energy, wherever Karen went, it can get pretty negative. So all that I can do is drop my pebble in the river and say, I'm going to spread out as much good karma in the time that I have here on earth. And that's a different kind of business model, because it's not all about making money for myself. What I have found out as a subset of doing this, though, is, boy darned if I don't make more money for myself. Who would have figured, you know? But I think maybe I'm giving stuff away to people that are hoarders and I'm making more work for myself down the line. I don't know. But people do hire, right? They like the stuff, they take it readily, you know? But people, you know, people dig the idea of just doing something because you can that's kind. And I'll give you an example of, this is an example that sticks in my head so much, because it's one of those you never know. You never know what your kindness may mean to somebody else. You don't usually get to see it come around. We did a job for a gentleman in Brockton who, his niece was the executor of the trust, and he was off in a nursing home. Typical bachelor pad, you know, 2-bedroom ranch, filthy dirty. We went in, most of the stuff was junk, but there was a kitchen hutch in there that was made of maple, one solid kitchen hutch, not that big, because the great big ones we can't give away, but a kitchen hutch, and I knew it would clean up pretty nice. And I found this woman who wanted it. She came to my house, and I said, thank you. I said, here's the deal. She said, why are you giving this to me? I said, here's the deal. I'm giving this to you because I can. You pay it forward, do something kind for somebody else. She said, okay, I totally get that. So the next day I emailed her and I said, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you showed up on time, you respected my time, and you took the stuff, and I hope you pay it forward. She sent me back a picture of this kitchen hutch, all cleaned up, all like pictures and vases, all, and this is honest to God truth what she said. She said, thank you very much for paying it forward to me. I totally get what you said. This has been a really hard couple of years for me. That picture is the vase along the top of that hutch. That's my mom's. That's her urn. Those are pictures of her. She died a couple of years ago of breast cancer. That second row, that urn, that vase, that's my sister's urn. She died at 32 this spring. She committed suicide by jumping in from an MBTA train. She said, me, I'm an MBTA train conductor, and I couldn't go back to work after that happened. So she said, you have no idea how much it made me feel good that there's goodness in this world, that somebody helped me for no reason other than you could. So every day I remember that and say, you know what, you just don't know. That was a hunch that I could have just said, let's throw it out, who cares? But every time you have an opportunity to reach out and touch somebody and do something kind for them is an opportunity to connect. And I think that's what a lot of our small businesses really need to do in this economy, is to reach out and connect with people in the community. And each business has an opportunity to do that, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, whether you're a lawyer, a financial planner, an architect. There are ways that you can pay it forward. There are ways that you can take something in your business that's unique and say, I'm going to help the community in this. Because I grew up in New Hampshire in a small town. We always shared. You knew what your neighbors were doing. You helped out. We've gotten away from that. And I don't know that it's to our betterment. You know, we've used technology to kind of be like this all the time instead of like this. Because that's what I want, is to connect with people's hearts, and you hope that people are doing the right thing with it. So that's a business model that I employ. I hope it's something that you can all employ, but it's I think it's a great way to be, and it's worked for me, so it's probably going to work for somebody else. So thank you for inviting me, Terry.
Questions.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone have any questions for Janet?
What area do you cover?
I live in Pembroke, so we cover the South Shore. We do charge a mileage fee, so we try not to go past Boston or down too far in the Cape, because I find that it's not real cost effective for the person, and we will tell them that. I'm a real believer in using your natural resources, so when people call me, I'll say, like, oh, you live in Quincy, let's put those mattresses and box springs curbside, because your town will pick them up for free. So each town is different, but I think it's important to tell people how they can do things the most cheaply themselves if they'd like to do it themselves, or how we can help them. We'll do it the day before your trash goes out, so you can put it out that way. So that's how we work.
Is there a job that's too big?
Nope, no jobs are too big. We had just one job that we refused in 8 years. A woman I worked with up in Quincy, she was a hoarder, and we had helped her do her porch before. And we went back one day, it was really warm, and when I opened the front door, probably 60 or 70 flies flew out, and the smell of urine was so strong. And I said to her, here's my thing. Number one, I'm not going to risk my health or the health of my worker going into your home. We would have to be masked and really, suited up. I said, this is really a job for service master, service pro, something like that. Put a dumpster out back and throw everything away. And I said, and the other thing is, it wouldn't be fair to you, because this is kind of like rearranging deck chairs in the Titanic. Really not going to make a difference. I'm not going to take your money to do something that really isn't going to help you. What will help you is for you to probably walk away from this home and live someplace healthy. You have open sores. This is not a healthy living situation for you. Those are hard conversations to have with people. And I find a lot of towns, the Board of Health, they don't quite know what to do with these folks. I look at hoarding, and I run into a lot, very much like I look at any other mental illness or social problem. I like to have a pop as much as the next person. That's fine. If I have too many pops and I get in my car, now the choices that I made affect other people. That's when it becomes not fair. So if you are a hoarder and your hoarding brings rats and roaches and becomes a fire hazard, and as this woman did, lived on C Street where her neighbor's house you get hit with a rock, that's not fair, because now your choices and your illness affect other people. So at that point, somebody else has to step in. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to treat. So those kind of jobs, we try to work with the town, get them to, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. If you've seen the show Hoarders, it's just like that. So, right. Any other questions?
Just want your card. Amazing.
I brought a couple brochures and a couple cards, yep. And if you know, like the sisters here, anybody in town, if you do know somebody we've furnished a lot of college students apartments. They're going off to college because, we get a ton of bureaus. This time of year, Friends of the Homeless and those kind of places tend to be full up, because everybody's getting rid of stuff. You start putting your patio furniture back in the garage, you realize it doesn't fit, you go, where did all that stuff come from? So a lot of those places get filled up, but if you know of anybody who is getting an apartment for the first time, they just bought their house and they used all their money and they have no furniture, we always get in plenty of good bureaus, plenty of kitchen table sets, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, my mantra is, when I've given to people that I know have a house and they can afford it, it's just, you know what, they're going to do a donation to Dove or to Mel's Play, Friends of Mel, or one of the other organizations I support. So There's all sorts of ways for people to do pay it forward. But if you know of folks, have them contact me, have them join me on Facebook. If you look at my Facebook page, we give away everything. Victorian sofas, blowers, generators, I mean, everything that comes in has to go up. Paddleboard, but we just gave away 2 windsurfers, yeah. So, I've got a kayak sitting in my yard now that's looking for a home. So like all that stuff that comes, and again, it's just, if you could, as I said, the one with a paddleboard, I said, I'd like to see it go to somebody who will share it with other people on the pond. And she said, all of us will use it. So that's nicer than just saying, I got mine, So, all right, thank you very much.
John suggested that we just spend a moment to introduce each of ourselves, because there's probably people in the room that don't know each other. And then afterwards, if anyone wants to go on a tour, I think there's opportunities if you haven't gone already. But we could start just your name and your business, or
Sure. My name's Siobhan Sheehan, and I am an orthodox conductor.
Larry Sandler.
Larry Norris, quality home inspection.
Sister Carolyn, St. Margaret's.
Tom Wood, Big Tom Wood Real Estate.
Tom Wood, yes.
Laura Doherty from the Art Complex Museum.
Tim Kaufman with Blanc Blanc Physical Therapy for the first time here.
Me? Erica LeBarge, Tiger Payment Solutions, New Credit Card Processing.
Janet Stoney, Jack Conway, Brownstone.
Nancy Reed from Coldwell Bank.
Chuck Leonard, Duxbury Bay Maritime School.
Debbie Odier on our French memories.
Don Reed Designs.
And John Madison, Vice President of the organization, and then with Maps Skank Insurance.
Sister Del Marie with St. Margaret's, and I was supposed to say, fill these out. We did.
Pam Campbell-Smith from Campbell-Smith Architects.
And Pam's from Michigan originally.
And I'm a Michigander.
I grew up close to Michigan. Can you imagine that? Terry River, I'm president of Software Requirements Inc., and I'm the president of the DBA. I think there's still more people at the back.
I'm Steve Antonelli, I'm most famous for being Ian Project.
Sister Bridget, St. Margaret.
Marcia Raphael from St. Margaret.
Sister Claire Marie, St. Margaret.
Beth Lyons, I work with the Sisters of St. Margaret. Sister Adele, St. Margaret's. Sister Kathleen Ruiz.
Okay,
Well,
thanks.
Terry, I am applying to be Sister Steve.
And you already seem right at home here.
Have you talked to Ann about that?
Okay, thanks everyone, appreciate it. I think, there's still some food and drink, and if anyone hasn't had a tour, they're free to go for the tour, which is stupendous. Thank you. Thanks.